Hey, hello, and welcome to this episode of Learn Everyday English, your roadway to English proficiency. Got an interesting video for you today, and this video came to me from a suggestion from a viewer, and actually it was something I've been thinking about, and it was good for me too, because it helped me to kind of refresh how the election system works here in the United States. There's a lot of questions I know that people have, especially since we have a presidential election coming up on Tuesday. I voted already in early voting, but we have two candidates that are running for president. There's Donald Trump, and he's representing the Republican Party, and there's Kamala Harris, who's representing the Democratic Party. You know, Donald Trump was the previous president before Joe Biden, our current president. And Kamala Harris is the current vice president under Joe Biden, and she's running for president. So I'm going to go over the election process here in the United States because it can be very confusing. And I know people have a lot of questions, especially people in other countries. How does the election process work for president in the United States? But before I jump into that, you know, there's three things you can do for me. Hey, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and 3, tell your friends about it so that they can benefit from these videos too, just like you. And I also want to let you know that my ebook, How to Talk Texan, is available on Amazon and other platforms on the internet. So I'm going to leave the links below in the description. There's 2 links that you can click. The first link will go directly to Amazon, and the second link is kind of like a global link that will take you to other platforms on the internet that you can buy the book from. Besides Amazon, we'll have a link there, but there'll be other links as well, like Barnes and Nobles and Kobo. And I'm also an Apple Books, and I'm also working to get it on Google Play. So there's a lot of availability for the book. So if you're interested, hey, check those links out. And also there'll be a link to buy me a coffee if you like what I'm doing on this channel. You want to help support the channel. I've been increasing the graphics, if you haven't noticed on the videos. Better graphics, more graphics, and better audio through a wireless mic system I purchased, so to make the viewing pleasure more enjoyable for you, the listeners. So I'll leave it at that. So now let's get into the meat of the matter. The meat of the matter, which means the most important thing, is let's talk about the election system and the election process here in the United States. How does it actually work? I'm going to give you what we call a high level overview. That means I'll be looking at it from above, like from outer space. So it won't be very detailed because it can get too detailed. I'm just going to give you a general overview to understand the general concepts. I don't want to get off in the weeds. I don't want to go off in the weeds. That means I don't want to get sidetracked, get into too much detail or be too confusing, but I just want to keep it simple. There's an acronym in English, it's KISS, the KISS principle. KISS means keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. And that's what I'm going to try to do, is keep it simple. So the president of the U.S. is elected for every 4 years. So he has a 4-year term. And he can run for a maximum of 2 terms. So that means each president can serve for a maximum of 8 years total. And then we have to re-elect somebody else. There are two major parties here in the United States. There is the Democratic Party, represented by like a donkey, and then there's a Republican Party represented by an elephant. There are some other minor parties. There are Independent Party and I think maybe Green Party, but there are really mainly two major parties, the Democrat and the Republicans. The election is held on Tuesday after the first Monday in November, on the Tuesday after the first Monday in November. So here the election is going to be on November 5th, which is this coming Tuesday, we say. Like I said, I voted already in early voting. You can vote early, and there is something called early voting, which starts roughly, I don't know, maybe 3-4 weeks before the actual election. You can go. I like to go and do early voting because the lines are not as long. You can get in and out very quickly. If you wait and vote on election day, there's usually long lines. I hear that the election for this president is breaking records. There are record numbers of people going out to vote. So, say this election is going to be hotly contested. That means it's going to be very competitive. It's going to be very competitive because Donald Trump, a lot of people like him, and I don't know why. It's my personal opinion, but can be pretty controversial. But a lot of people are going to be voting for him. So they say the race for president is, we say it's a toss-up. It's a toss-up. That means it can go either way. It can go either way. It's almost like a tie. So that's what a toss-up means. But the way that we elect the president here in the U.S. is different from pretty much every other country in the world. For most countries elect their president by what's called the popular vote. And what that means is the person that gets the most votes wins. The person that gets the most individual votes of all the citizens that can vote in the country, that person is declared the winner. But that's not how it works here in the United States. So let me try to make it a little bit clearer for you. Here in the United States, there's something called the Electoral College, or the Electoral College System, and that's how the winner of the election is determined. So basically, I won't get into details, but each state in the United States is given so many electoral votes based on population. So if a state has more people, they get more electoral votes than a state that is small, that has fewer people. So basically, there's a total of 538 total electoral votes for all the 50 states here in the United States. So 538 total electoral votes. And like I said, that is divided up and given to each state based on population. So for example, Texas gets 40 electoral votes. California has 54 electoral votes. New York State has 28. Small state like Vermont has 3. And here's a map of the electoral votes for each state here in the United States. And the total number totals up to 538. So the candidate, or the first person to get 270 electoral votes wins the election. 270 votes wins the election. So you can see the votes are not based on popular votes like in most countries where the number of total votes by the person, it's based on the person that has the most electoral votes. So this can create a problem, but I'll get into that a little bit later. But I want to say that most Americans, if you ask them, one, really don't understand this system. They don't know why it was initiated, and they don't like it. They rather just go to a popular vote system. So maybe that's something that's been being considered, is always brought up, talked about, but nothing's ever been done about it. So, and what makes this interesting, and here is where the distinction is, and here's what you really need to understand. So pay attention. Pay attention. So for example, we have what's called a winner-take-all system for each state except for 2 states. So we have 50 states in the United States. 48 states go with what's called a winner-takes-all system. So the person that wins the most votes in that state gets all of the electoral college votes, gets all of the electoral votes. So there's all of the 50 states except 2. There's Maine and Nebraska. Now, Maine and Nebraska can divide their electoral votes up by the number of percentage of the people that vote for each candidate. But Maine only has like 4 electoral college votes, and Nebraska only has 5. So out of the total 538, they probably really don't make much of a difference. But let me give you an example. Okay, say for Texas, say Donald Trump gets 60% of the popular vote in Texas, and Kamala Harris gets 40% of the popular vote in Texas. So that means Donald Trump has 60% and Kamala Harris 40%. Out of 40 total votes, you would think that Donald Trump would get 24 of the 40 votes and Kamala Harris would get 16 of the total votes. But it doesn't work that way. So under a winner-take-all or winner-takes-all situation, Donald Trump would get all 40 electoral votes for the state of Texas. He would get all 40 out of the 538. So the 40 is not split into each candidate doesn't get a percentage or a split. The person that wins the most votes by the people of the state gets all of the electoral votes for that state. So that's where a big problem can come in. So, you can win maybe by a small margin. Say if Donald Trump only won by 51% of the vote and Kamala Harris got 49% of the vote, Donald Trump would still get all 40 electoral college votes. So that's where the problem comes into play. So each state, like I said, out of the 50 states, 48 states have a winner-take-all or winner-takes-all method of giving the electoral college votes to the state. So, and like I said, there's only 2 states, Maine and Nebraska, that actually split the electoral college votes up. So this could cause a problem because it happened in the 2016 election where Donald Trump was running against Hillary Clinton. And actually Hillary Clinton won the popular vote out of the whole country. She got more total votes by the people than Donald Trump did. She got 48.2% of the popular vote, while Donald Trump got 46.1% of the popular vote. So she got a little over 2% more of the vote of the people. So that means more people actually voted for Hillary Clinton. But given the electoral college system, Donald Trump won 304 electoral college votes, and Hillary Clinton only won 227 electoral college votes. So Donald Trump ended up being president because he won more of the electoral votes than Hillary Clinton, although she won the popular vote or the vote of the people. So did that make sense to you? I know it can be a little bit confusing. Everybody will be glued to their television sets Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, although sometimes we may not know who the winner is if it's close until Tuesday or Wednesday, because some states take a lot longer to tally. Have you heard that? To tally or to count their votes than other states do. So that's pretty much all I want to say about the electoral process here in the United States. Hopefully that cleared it up a little bit for you, but we just have an electoral college system not based on the popular vote. Like I said, there's a total of 530 electoral votes for the whole country. That's divided up and given to each state based on its population. And then the electoral votes are totaled up. Most states have a winner-takes-all system, and they get all of the votes for that state, no matter who got certain percentage of the popular vote or not. So let me know if that made sense to you. And if you have any questions still, leave them in the comments. And let me know, do you agree with the electoral college system here in the U.S.? Do you think it's fair, or do you think it's not fair? Let me know what you think. And have you had any problems in elections in your country where you're at? So let me know. Hey, that'll do it. Hey, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell your friends about it. I'll be bringing you more videos like this. And thanks for watching this episode of Learn Everyday English. Hey, we'll talk to you later. Goodbye.